Hello, I'm Stacy with the IIA. I'm here today with Carolyn to discuss performing project health checks. Hello, Carolyn.
Hi, Stacy.
So tell me a little bit more about performing project health checks.
This idea is not a new one, but I think it is a little bit unpracticed. So what we do is we try and add value to the organization by helping executives see whether or not the projects that they are funding, the large capital programs, are likely to be successful. So we've developed a method, we call it a project health check, and what it is you take the project from the governance to the financial stewardship to the IT system integration testing, all the components of what it takes to go from ideation of an idea to creation and implementation of a large program. These are usually big IT-enabled strategic change initiatives. So the project health check is a way for our stakeholders to get a kind of a second opinion outside of a project management office on how the project is actually performing.
So it's an interesting concept that has been around for a while.
I think it has. I mean, the IA's got some literature. The Audit Executive Center had a really good thought piece that we used to develop our methodology. It's called From the Trenches, and it was the story of this team, I think it was in Australia, who did this idea of a project health check. And it's around, again, understanding, is the governance of the project working? So does it have a charter? Do people understand what done looks like? Who are the stakeholders, who's responsible? That's all defined in a charter. And then the health check takes it from that level of kind of high-level governance all the way down to how are users going to use it, is there training available, and all of the different components of what it would take to deliver this big project.
So what made you get started in this?
Good question. The reason we got started, and I've done this at several companies, where risk is today in companies is in these strategic change initiatives. I mean, companies are making big bets where they spend their capital. And these projects have to come to life, or else you've made the big bet and you've spent the money and you get nothing. So failure is kind of not an option here. So risk to organizations can be in actually achieving strategic change. And so the project or the program is often the means by how the strategic change will be realized. So again, most things that involve change today in an organization are not just people-centered, but they involve IT projects. And we all know there's some statistics out there that, only 30% of large programs actually achieve the intended outcomes, whether, they go over budget on time, they go over budget on scope. So it's highly likely that a large program will fail. I mean, the statistics just tell us that. So having internal audit involved, in my opinion, gives us a better shot at helping the company realize success.
Were there obstacles in getting internal audit involved?
Absolutely. Some of the obstacles are really about stakeholder buy-in. Mm-hmm. Can you get the IT team to believe that you have the skill sets required? Can you get there's often other stakeholders. The larger the project, the more the stakeholders. So getting each of those teams to buy into internal audit's involvement, that's where the hard work is. The executives want this type of confidence in the program. In fact, when I was brought into 7-Eleven, the CFO actually had as one of the 4 things he wanted from me to deliver in a transformed internal audit function was this independent assurance about strategic project success. So the project health check is something executives are absolutely willing and able to sponsor. It's sort of that middle level of where you're getting into people's day-to-day. And also these are projects that are in flight. So they're, you can't really say that a risk is going to come true. It's just there are a lot of red flags that could indicate that risk is going to come true. But when you're trying to tell people that you see a red flag and they're still doing the work, it's hard to get them to buy in that the risk should be taken seriously.
Absolutely. What kind of training did you have to give your staff on this?
Well, we had to kind of codify a methodology, so it's all written, of course, as auditors love to do. So we have a documented methodology, then we had to train them on it. One other thing that we're doing on a current project where we're taking this approach is we teamed with our partners in the corporate PMO, which is sort of on the strategic people change side, and then the ePMO, which is the IT-led system development lifecycle people. So we had to take our methodology and kind of make sure it was on the same taxonomy, the same processes, so that we could then really partner. So then we had to learn all of their processes as well and fit them into one kind of overall methodology. And that really helped with the buy-in piece, because when you've got your 2 PMO partners aligned with internal audit, then all of a sudden you're probably going to have better stakeholder buy-in.